Yes. So I had a client come to me, and they have their current website is one that they built a while ago. They built it themselves and said they've done quite a bit of DIY work on it.
Okay.
It looks fine from the front end, but I know from looking at it and some other things that the back end, it's got some things that aren't best for SEO practices, and probably and needs some work on it. They said they want SEO, but at what do I need to look at to say you really need a new website first with the SEO along with it? I don't want them to pay for SEO and then have in a couple of months to do a new website and repay for SEO.
Right. Right.
So
Okay.
what should
This is
I
a
like my top thing?
super question that is, I think, applicable to all of us. Okay. So, a couple things. Number one, SEO is marketing, not web development.
Yeah.
So, as a rule, I rarely would tell a client, I can't start SEO until your website is fixed. The only circumstances under which I can't do anything is if, like, for instance, don't have the ability to modify any content. Like, can't get access, like it's a static site of some sort, or um, yeah, that's really kind of it. Like, there's a long way we can go doing SEO that can help even the worst site. I was just looking at a couple of websites today. Like this one website was all images, no text,
Wow.
and it's like, wow. So that there's no ability to add any text, right? But if they said, David, do my SEO today, there's still things I could do. I could set up analytics,
Mm-hmm.
right? If I can't set up analytics, that might be a non-starter, but there's still things I could do. I could set up Search Console and get some data, right? I could um, do some technical SEO, like, are the page, there's, even if there's only big images on this page with text in the images, there's basic things set up, and can I potentially modify those? Can I add alt text to the images to at least describe what this image says, right? Um, but like beginning the content process to say, all right, we're going to do keyword research, figure out all the opportunities out there, and maybe the core pages I can't modify, but potentially I could add additional pages, right? But there's always external link building kinds of SEO things you could do to promote a site.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I've often had people come to me and say, hey, I don't want to start SEO because we're going to launch a site in 3 months. Well, now is the time to start the SEO
Yeah.
because number one, you kind of want an SEO advocate during the development process because good developers have a goal, which is to launch the site. And sometimes that goal is different from launching a site that's Google compatible. Like, for instance, and again, I'm beating you up, but this is no big deal. Like putting a page that doesn't exist, right? It's not the end of the world, but like, let's just not have to fix that after the fact, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
just check things like that.
Yeah.
Um, how awesome would it be to have all the content written before the site launches? Right? It's going to take us a few months to write all those pages, right? So you really want to hire me before the site launches. And so if I'm doing SEO on a site that I really can't do, there's a lot of prep work I could be doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Meanwhile, I could be watching things like, hey, there's a really easy opportunity here. Like, let's say I discover, hey, you know what? There's a ton of links to an old URL, And I want to go through those systematically, reach out to all those websites and say, hey, our website's changed, it's this, right? That's a link building tactic. If I don't have the ability to redirects on that site, maybe because it's so poorly built, I could help that site right now and then consequently help the new site. It's no matter, well, under most circumstances, a good website rebuild is going to end up benefiting the client. It's not going to be like starting over with SEO.
Yeah.
Right? So if this was my client talking to me like they're talking to you, I'd say, well, there's always things we can do, and sometimes it's taking the time to plan to make sure the launch goes off well. So, maybe we have monthly check-ins with the developers. One of the things I do regularly, I have on Curious Ants the website design checklist and the website pre-launch checklist, post-launch checklist. I give that to developers building it and say, here is what I need from the site to be built. Here is how I'm going to be evaluating the site once it's launched. Those are both very helpful to developers. And if developers have those in hands, the site launch goes off really well.
Okay.
Just did one a couple weeks ago. Really helped. So there's still involvement we need to be in there, right? There's going to be things like we need to make a big map. What old pages, new pages, how do we map up redirects? Maybe we need to queue up a dozen new blog posts to launch and trickle out after we launch the new site to kind of give Google an interest in this new site. 12 blog posts is a lot of blog posts for most companies. Yeah. We're going to need a few months to build those up, right? So launching a new site doesn't undo stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be some basic stuff we're going to do on the old site that's going to help the old site, but it might be that the new site so more than incrementally grows the new business, like substantially grows new business, especially if the old site's terrible. So don't wait, start today, right? And it's not a marketing thing, it's just a realistic project management thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm sure I've told you the story before of the client that's like, no, we're about to launch a site, don't begin. And they launch the site, they're so proud, and the only thing Google can see about the page is, please turn on JavaScript to view this site. Right? Because they waited until they launched to talk to me.
Yeah.
This is old school JavaScript site. This is before React and all that, which is another conversation. But point is, I beg people to start as soon as they can. Sometimes people don't do it.
Yeah.
Right? But there's a lot of things that we could do on an existing site that will only set us up for growth, that will maintain through to the new site. But there's a lot of prep work for SEO to launch the new site that we can set ourselves up for a successful relaunch rather than setting backwards. For instance, one of the most common problems on a new site launch is changing all the URLs. Now, if we use a WordPress system or something like that, we're just changing the theme. We don't have to change any URLs. And that's the ideal situation where no URLs change, so we have very little 404 errors to fix. Right? Because those are the kinds of things that lead to drops after sites launch.
Yeah.
And so these are all take time. And even if you have my list of, website design requirements and post-launch requirements, even if you think I don't need to hire Tricia to do this for me, that's time you don't have to do it. So it's just the same rule for SEO as every kind of marketing. It takes money to do this, whether it's your money paying someone to do it or your money because you're taking your time to do it yourself.